You didn't think the crowd was already worked up, so they weren't working them up. I'd like you to go back and watch what took place today. They literally control the crowd. They control the protesters. They look at them, they do their hand like this, they do their hand like this. It's like leading a choir.
Because they could not believe that their lawmakers were doing this as opposed to dealing with the biggest issue at hand. The #1 killer of children is gun violence. And they wanted y'all to do something about that instead of wasting time in their mind.
It's not possible for us to move forward with the way they were behaving in committee and on the House floor, because they're drowning out and sucking all the air out of the room. So I would just push back on you saying we can't get there if they won't let us. And thank you for letting me speak with you. God bless you.
Representative, I know you got a long drive home. One final question for you. All right, well, Jeremy Faison has left us. He's the Republican chair.
There's Jeremy Faison. He's one of the Tennessee state Republicans who voted to oust 2 of those 3 out of Tennessee for protesting and actually trying to speak in favor of their constituents when it comes to gun violence and trying to prevent more of these unnecessary deaths. So he took off. He has to go. I got to go, you guys. I'm so tired of this. He went on TV to try and recoup, I guess, he and his colleagues' their reputations that they're destroying here, which I'm not sure how much they had in the first place, but ain't going that well. He also talked to Van Jones, and I don't think that went well either.
To expel one of them.
Why did you not use the ethics committee? I'm just trying to understand, why did you not go to the ethics committee and do the things that are always done in that body? You have not done this to anybody except for 2 people in 200 years. You can't tell me that there have not been people who have also been disruptive. You've had people that have peed on chairs that did not get expelled. So I don't understand why you skipped the ethics committee. If you want respect, and if you want for people to be reasonable, why are you being so unreasonable, and why are you skipping steps? I don't understand. You seem to be contradicting. You're not acting the way you want the young people to act.
So the story of someone urinate on somebody's chair is never been quantified. I've heard many people say that. I don't think there's any truth to that. So what you need to understand, this group, my caucus, which is the supermajority, there's 75 of us, said, no, that is not, we don't want to go through the ethics route. We don't want them censored. We want them expelled.
Well, that's what we want, and that's what we're going to get, because that's what we are looking for. So regardless of the question, regardless of the things that are brought forward, it just goes back to, well, we wanted to do it. Well, we already know that. That's part of the problem. It has nothing to do with the normal process for these things. So, of course, we've also seen some of these folks that have been a part of being expelled from their positions here, one being Justin Jones, now former Tennessee representative as of yesterday. But he was talking a little bit about Jeremy Faison as well, and he had some thoughts. Go.
He was wondering why you haven't apologized. Let's listen, and then we'll get your response.
I'd like to add to y'all, they've not backed down from that either. You know, I told them earlier today, I feel like if they would have said, you know what, we messed up. I mean, what American, what human won't bring forgiveness and redemption? But they doubled down and went so far as to stand in the well today and said, I'd do it again.
I mean, you haven't apologized? What is your response to that?
I mean, I think Representative Faison needs to reflect on his own actions as a representative. Earlier this year, last year, Representative Faison pulled down the pants of a referee because he got mad at a basketball game. And he's still in Republican leadership, not expelled, not sanctioned in any way.
Uh-oh. Receipts are starting to get pulled out now as he tries to talk about Faison, at least talking about they need to come up with some forgiveness and redemption for representing their people after being silenced multiple times over and over and over again. We've seen those instances. What is this about a referee pantsing and all that type of stuff? Jeremy Faison? Well, there's video of that too, just in case you guys thought he was lying. Let's go. Justin Jones was lying. He attempted to pants that referee, didn't make it because I guess his belt was a little bit too tight because we wear our pants up to our waists here in Tennessee. That's how it works. But still, we've gone through this whole thing, Sharon. Okay, So we got Representative Faison going on television to try and recoup his image. It's not really working out that well because people are asking him questions. He didn't expect that part. But then again, he doesn't really know about decorum or how to treat other folks at a high school basketball game. I know it seems a little bit of a stretch, but we're talking about forgiveness and redemption.
You see, that's what happens, JR, when you go out pointing the finger and making the rounds. He did a whole media tour. And it went so poorly for him, you'd almost wish that you were Clarence Thomas today instead of this guy. And this is so ridiculous. It would be better if he just came out and said, well, we didn't want the mouthy young black guys in there, so we did what we did. We said what we said. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
That's because it's the truth. They have to say it the way that they did. I mean, on the floor, they basically said it that way from the way that they spoke to folks as they were going through their speeches and many of the build up to that vote. They're basically like, well, why didn't you just listen to us? There's a way that we want you to do things, and what you did was wrong. Again, as if they control them, as if they're the ones who put them in their positions. It's like you're proving everyone's point about this white supremacy and about your belief that you're above everyone else. So they're going through these tours. They're trying to figure this whole thing out, but I don't think it's going to look all that good for them, especially as we saw what's happening in the gallery. We saw what's happening in the balconies and out in the hallways and out front of this legislator as they were doing this. I think your people have turned on you, or that they've realized who it is that you really are. We'll see where this plays out. I think they still have a chance to come in and maybe get those seats back, though. I'm not sure if they really want them, but the people that they represented probably do.